Okay, hi, my name is Ashwin. I'm a rising junior at Mountain View High School. And before I go into my main project and what that is, I'd like to go and take a step back into my starter project. My starter project was an RGB nightlight, which essentially just had a photoresistor and a potentiometer. The photoresistor basically determined there was day or night based on the light, and the potentiometer had like a dial on it, and when you turned it, it changed the color emitted by the LED light. So that was the RGB nightlight. Now for my main project, I actually decided to make an educational video game based on one small event in modern European history. Taking that course in this previous year, decided to apply it here because I really love video games and I really hate school and learning, so I had to combine the two to see if that would be interesting. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and boot up the game. I've actually compiled it, so it's called The Donation of Constantine, right here. So it's made in Unity, maybe a big game engineer. Right. So the first things you can see here is the main menu. So you like a play button, an info button, and a quit button. Quit button obviously closes the application. I'm actually going to go to the info button first, and play will obviously play the game. So if I go into info, I like to give some background information on this game because you probably won't understand it if I just play it. So I get to be the teacher this time. After 16 years of being a student, finally the teacher. So we're going to go back to 1500 Europe, where everyone was Catholic. All right? There was no like Christianity, there was no Judaism, there's nothing. It was just Catholicism, and that was across Europe. And so, as you can probably imagine, the church was the most powerful institution and the richest institution. And so what happened was the church basically justified their power to this donation of Constantine. Now, it's not actually a donation, it's more as a document, and basically gave them all the power to rule the entirety of Europe. Sounds a little too good to be true, right? Guess what? It was a forgery. So, it wasn't a real document. Anyway, it was proven to be a forgery by Lorenzo Valla, this man. And so, consequently, in this game, you play as Lorenzo Valla, and you basically prove that the church, the document, the donation of Constantine, is a forgery by stealing it from the church and giving it to the king at the castle. So I'm going to actually go ahead and play the game for you, give you a little walkthrough. So you play, we'll spawn in here. So this is your player character, and this is who you play as. This building right here is the church. I'm going to be honest with you right now, just to save time, the doors are locked. There's only one entrance, and that's at the back of the church. So you can actually download the game if you want and try to figure out all the map and all the entrances here. But you basically go through this window here. And you can see here, I want you to pay attention to the objective on the top right corner of the screen, where it says find and seal the forged documents. So if I press E, I'll seal the first forged documents, but that's like the display document. But if I look here to the right, you can see, my hand is really shaky, sorry about that. But you can see the other forged documents here. So if I go up here, and see that, you can see the objective changes now to deliver the documents to the castle. So I'll just leave the same way I came through, sneaking out, and we're actually going to go. Now, the way this works is there's an actual boundary around the church, and so when you pass this boundary, you'll see a timer pop up. This signifies two things. One, you need to get to the castle within 1 minute, and two, there's an AI that spawned. You can see him over there in the corner. He'll actually come follow me after if I keep running. So I run here. There he is. You can see him running in the back behind me. There, you see him running there behind me. He's the AI. He's a bad guy. He's going to try to knock you out, not kill you. He's going to knock you out. So I'll actually take some damage from him. Right? So after 2 seconds, he's going to start hitting me. You can see my health on the bottom right go down, and I actually kind of flinch after hit. But for the sake of saving the time, we're going to actually knock out the AI. Right there. He's knocked out. He's not dead. All right? Very family friendly. After this, and so one thing I like to know is the timer, once it hits 0, you're going to lose the game, or if you get knocked out by the AI, you lose the game. But for the sake of the demo and keeping the time short, we're just actually going to complete the game. So here's the end screen. You see the game's complete. This educational video game is created. I hope you enjoyed it. So that's basically the game, and once you hit quit menu, it's the game. All right. That's it. So because this game was made in Unity, I was using Unity's tools. So there's 3 main things that are actually used in this game. One is the game objects, second is the scripts, and 2 is the UI. So the game objects, basically everything you see in the game and everything you can interact with is a game object. So remember when the timer came up? That's actually a game object right there. It wasn't timed or anything. There was an invisible collision, or an invisible collider there that when you crossed it, the timer popped up. And that was linked, and the timer popped up through a script. So scripts really link together every single game object in the game. So, as in when I walked through the castle door, you saw the end menu screen. The end menu screen is a part of the UI there. The main menu screen, the end menu screen, and in the text you see in the timer. That's all part of the UI. So it's these 3 main components, all binded together by the scripts that really made this game a playable video game. So the most challenging part, there's actually 3 really challenging parts about this game. One was the animations. I mean, like when I first booted up the game, like my player was going through the ground, then he was going up to space, and then it just wasn't moving. It was terrible. It was like not a great thing. And then the second thing that actually happened with the issue of the game was programming the AI, because I'd never ever programmed an AI. Moreover, I'd never animated an AI. So you can see, when the AI hit me back, I flinched, and when I hit the AI back, the AI flinched, and the AI was following me throughout, and I had to predict its course. So using that to use a nav mesh basically, and I also had to use a bunch of if statements and calculate the distance, whether or not I could hit the AI could hit me, and based on that run an animation. So that was pretty cool. It did take a lot of time though, figuring it out. And the last thing that took the most time to work on was, or the most challenging thing, was forgetting it now. Oh, nope. Anyway, I'll get back. It'll come back to me later. And now moving on, it's for modifications I could have done, I could have added more AIs, maybe added more levels, maybe really increased the map. Instead of just targeting the small event about the church's documentation being a forgery, I could have done maybe World War I, World War II, the economic situations, multiple things I could have done. For future projects, I'd want to really develop a fully fleshed game with a lot of aspects and a lot of depth to it, and actually publish it to a professional game market, and actually try to make some money. Anyway, overall, this game Blue Stamps has really given me a great opportunity to learn and really get into the idea of game development. I never knew how to make a video game. It was like my wildest dreams, and yet here we are with a game, a working game. So I really have to thank Blue Stamps for that, and it's honestly been a great journey, and thank you. Yeah.
Did you have any past coding experience, and what language did you use?
So Unity uses C#, and I did have experience with C#, so that wasn't something.
How many decision trees do you have to go through?
There's a lot. It depends on what you. So if you click the info button, to get the info, quits the game.
In the game itself.
Oh, well, most of the game, until you get the documents, it really doesn't really care what you do in the game. If you could run around, do whatever you want, you really won't be able to interact with anything. But what happens is once you get into the church, it shows you a bunch of options. It really it's weird. You have colliders, you have these little box colliders, and it detects that the player's in that box collider. And based on that, it'll loop through a script. One script, there's 20 scripts in this game. And based on that, it'll say oh, you can grab the scripts, or you can do this and do that. So it was really just one progression tree, but it's more there's a lot of branches out. Yeah.
So you had to do your own animations, but did you have to model, or did you find background models and character models already?
Yeah, so I've actually got assets for this game. I got 2 assets, the knight and the houses that you saw in the interior of the church. The animation, I used a free asset for that, but that was a challenge because I had to modify. So the animation asset was meant for an RPG game, not only this game. So I had to really remove all the UI elements, really modify it for it to work with my project, which is what the challenging part was.
The AI that was following you, the AI that followed, was that something, a feature of Unity, or did you have to program to figure out where you're running and how to follow you?
So it was a bit of both. So Unity has a nav mesh component, which basically, throughout the map, it'll find one way. It'll find the object that meets the target needs to go to, which I programmed to be my player. And Unity basically will do all the hardware.
Alexa is not supported on this device. Use the Alexa app.
All right. Anyway, yeah. So Unity does the hard work of really mapping out the characters or the AI's movement, how to get the position and the directions to get to my movement. But I had to program saying all right, here's the target, and the target's always moving. Right? I was always moving, so the AI had to follow me. So I had to program that and send it through a loop, constant loop, and then to figure it out. So there was a bit. It was a bit of both. Yeah.
Are you planning to submit this game in the App Store?
No. Oh, no. I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It's 5 minutes of gameplay. Before I publish it, I want to fix up some of the bugs. So, yeah. No, it's good. Yeah?
What kind of graphics card do you need to run it?
I think it's not that heavy of a game as long as you have any graphics cards you can run it. It's a pretty low quality game, but you do need a graphics card. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you like to play video games, and now you are building it. So do you feel you will continue to play video games, or you will stop that now since it's hard work?
Is this the mom?
For your answer, I'll stop playing video